I don't ever work out. Oh, wow, I'm dark. Whoa. Y'all, I'm not this dark. Wait, what? Let me fix that. Brighten up. There we go. Okay. I don't work out, like, ever. I think a great workout is listening to an Unwound album without crying, which I did today. Unwound has that effect on anyone that likes to listen to music deeply. But let's say that you don't really like listening to music at that level. What do you do? There's a lot of things you can do. 1, grow up. 2, explore. Or number 3, go back to some classics, you know? The music industry in the 1970s and 1980s was primarily made up of trying your hardest to pump out a single and nothing else. And we don't give no shit about albums or anything. I don't want anyone to say, okay, what about Pink Floyd or what about Talking Heads? Because they were exceptions to a huge pull that is the music industry. I don't want anyone defending the music industry. You can defend Talking Heads because Talking Heads is just a band, but you can't defend the music industry. But you can defend Stormfront by Billy Joel. This is a pretty decent pop rock album. You can't go wrong with Billy Joel. I feel like he's had some classic songs. I feel like if you don't know him, then you're just kind of a loser. Like if you don't recognize the harmonica intro to Piano Man, I really don't know what to tell you. I didn't grow up in the 80s or the 90s, and still I recognize it, and still my whole generation recognizes it, especially if you're a band kid like I was. But yeah, this was a very nice album. There was a lot of songs in here that like I didn't really click with, and that's why I like this isn't one of those albums where I'm like blown away, guys, this is incredible. But more just kind of like a hey, this isn't too bad, you know? There's some good songs on here. If you don't know We Didn't Start the Fire, I also don't know what to tell you. I just feel like there's some classic songs on here, and you know, the album cover is nice. It really does exemplify that kind of 80s almost industrial drum texture that they had going on, but that was what new wave really was. It's not industrial per se, but you know what I mean. It's like kind of more punchy and more like big in your face if you were to compare it to like 70s rock. Like if you were to compare like the drum sound in like Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard, compare that to like Boston, More Than a Feeling. You know, like that drum sound is pretty tight, just kind of like that, you know? And then we got like this exemplifies that sound so well, where it's not in your face, reverberated, crazy, or anything, but it's also like you know this came out in the 80s, like you really do feel it. It was a little bit late. I feel like I'm pretty sure this came out like 1988. It's a little bit late to the 80s new wave train, but that's okay. And fun story, actually. I'm really happy to tell this story. So, many, I think like a year, maybe 2 years ago, one of my siblings was in choir, and they played And So It Goes. Like, they sang that song. I was like, so I decided to record the entire concert, like audio recorded. Like, I didn't, like, take out my camera. I wasn't like that mom that just has the camera, like, the entire video. I recorded it on my phone as a sound file, and I was blown away by And So It Goes. Not because it was like extremely good or anything, but more just like it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt powerful. Like it felt like you took a song that was already just piano and voice and you turned it into just voice. And I think that's beautiful. Actually, no, this was a piano and voice performance. And I ended up, and you probably don't know this. I really don't know how some people found this out, but I am waterproof Gold Star. I don't know how people know that. I never promote anything. I don't know how anyone found out. But I have gotten some messages on Instagram asking if this was me. Yes, this is me. You might not have ever received one, but if you know me in person, you might be one of the lucky like 20 that got like a demo album for this indie folk prog folk album that I was working on for a while. There is a section in the middle where it has that song as the song. It's more of an ambient like sound collage kind of, not sound collage, but kind of in that realm. But yeah, that's why I really like that song, and I think And So It Goes is just a really pretty song. I used to listen to the choir performance on its own, but then I edited it and bit crushed it and stuff and everything like that. If you're lucky, you might even get sent one if I really do feel like making more. It's a 40-minute album. It's whatever. But anyways, I'd recommend this to anyone that likes 80s music. Even if you like experimental 80s music, you would still like this because the textures in this album are nice. We Didn't Start the Fire is a great song. Stormfront is a pretty decent song. State of Grace is a good song. When in Rome is a pretty nice song. I'm not really the biggest fan of the bigger sounding songs, but I really like the ballads. Hence why I like And So It Goes. And if you like piano style rock, you absolutely would love Billy Joel in general. I would suggest checking out any of his music. But this album, I feel like this is like a good entry point where it's like kind of in that middle ground of like piano rock and still kind of, still 80s pop. But yeah,